commercial realty specialists, and today I'd like to give you another idea to share. Today's idea to share has to do with doing an actual walkthrough. What I thought we would do is we'd walk through a typical 2,900 square foot space just so you get an idea of the items that you should be looking at during your actual walkthrough prior to moving into a space. Come on. Okay, now that we're in the suite, what I want to do is I want to show you some little nitpick items that I like looking at. Generally what I do on a walkthrough is I bring my own screwdriver, and I like to make sure that the screws are all facing up and down. Some clients have called this a little too detailed, but in my opinion, this is part of the perfection. So we want to just make sure all the screws are lined up accordingly, and it looks much more professional, because those won't heal over time. What I also like to do is I like to check the receptacles. Therefore, I bring a receptacle checker for my clients. So I just put it into the receptacle, just make sure that they're working appropriately. And this one seems to be working appropriately. While I'm down here, I will also just straighten out the screws, so those are taken care of. Generally what I like to do is, prior to all of this final walkthrough inspection, I like to ask the contractor to make sure that he has his electrical technician and electrician go through the space, make sure everything's taken care of. Also, I just want to show you one thing here. What I've noticed, if there's over paint, it's not even over spray, but the receptacle has paint that's been over painted. So I just want to make sure that that's taken care of as well. As we continue on the walkthrough, what we're looking at, I like to look at is the lights. Make sure that the lights are all working properly, that the ballasts are not broken. I also like to look at ceiling tiles and making sure that the ceiling tiles are not marked up, chipped, broken. As an example, you'll notice right here, there's a chipped ceiling tile. We'll get a little close up a little bit later, but that's just as an example. Making sure that the sprinkler escutcheons, the round thing around the sprinkler head, is in fact in place. Often those things fall down, therefore they're not put back up. I'll then come over and look at the window blinds and make sure that the window blinds in fact work properly. Opening and closing them a few times, pulling the blinds up and down, making sure they stick and stay where they're supposed to. Also, this might be considered a little immaterial, but I like to see the ends of the blinds, the handle, not broken. This is all broken. This one's all broken. It's a simple fix. It just needs to be replaced, but making sure that the blinds all work. So that's something I like to check as well. So we'll go into this office here as an example. We'll look around. We'll notice that we're missing a faceplate down here. And once again, start checking the window blinds, making sure that the blinds are all working, things are not broken. Looking around for ceiling tiles that might be damaged or need to be replaced. Going through, just generally making sure that the suite is, or the room is nice. Checking doors, making sure that there are no scratches, because those don't heal and you want to get them taken care of now. And often people don't look at the backs of a door, because usually during a walkthrough, the doors are all open. This one right here looks like it could be touched up a little bit, but you do want to make sure that the backs are taken care of as well. Something else to consider, in older suites, you want to look at the air vents, the exhaust as well as the return. And often returns are extremely dirty because of all the dust and whatnot throughout the years. So on an older suite, you want to make sure, and a newer suite, but any suite, you want to make sure that the returns are clean and there's not a lot of dust up there. Depending on what's negotiated in the lease, you may have new carpet. If you don't have new carpet, you want to make sure that a carpet like this has been shampooed accordingly to make sure that it looks nice. Notice here there were some open areas where cubicles were. So I just like to see this taken care of and clean. And if it's brand new carpet, you do want to make sure that the carpet has been laid correctly, because not all carpet is laid exactly the way it should be laid. Why don't you follow me into the kitchen and we'll look at some of the things here. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that all the cabinets are nice. You open them up, make sure that they're clean, there are no broken shelves, everything is fine in that regard. Just going through the shelves, making sure those are fine and they're adjusted accordingly. I notice this is not flush, so this needs to be adjusted. Make sure the water works. Notice that water doesn't work. Probably because it's turned off down there, which is fine. And also making sure that the garbage disposal works. I turn it on. It actually turns on. I hear the humming, but I think it's jammed, so that needs to be taken care of and looked into. So now we're going to go into the IT room. Could be a storage room, closet, etc. Notice up here that all the cables have been pulled. That means that the tenant is going to be responsible for the cabling most likely. So you just want to make sure you look at it, make sure that, so these are dedicated plugs right here, the orange delineates, and just look around, make sure that there are no problems in this particular room as well. Let's go into the conference room for the last room we're going to look at today. So I'm looking around this room. Generally, it looks pretty nice. There are a few open socket receptacles. That's not a big deal. My big concern right here has to do with the lighting in here. We've got some nice down lighting. The problem is that there may not be enough light for somebody if you're trying to do some work in here. So I might suggest we add another 1 or 2 parabolic lights on 2 different switches. Therefore, the down light is on one switch, the parabolic's on another, so you can adjust it accordingly. I hope you learned something from this video, and should you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Once again, I'm Randy Mason with Commercial Realty Specialists, and that was my idea to share.